everybody. Welcome back to a brand new episode of Over the Top TV. I'm Curtis Klaschinski.
I'm Riley Miller.
And we have a special guest for you guys today. We have the man, the myth, the legend, Caleb Freeborn. Caleb, you just got done crushing it in Lethbridge. Absolutely crushing it, man. To the point where I was talking to Riley and I'm like, we have to talk to this guy. We have to have this guy on. He's a tank. He's only been in the sport for a short time. And he's already taken down some big names in the sport, guys with some heritage there. That Hooten name is no joke. That's nothing to laugh at. So thank you for giving us a chance to interview you here, Caleb. It's really nice to meet you, man.
Yes, thanks for having me. It's nice to meet you guys too.
Absolutely. We have a ton of questions for you today, man. A ton of questions, and looking forward to learning more about you.
Awesome. I'm looking forward to answering.
Awesome. So let's start with that Lethbridge event, man. So Lethbridge event, you had 2 super matches, and your first one was against one of the guys that I train with, right?
Yep. First one was right hand against Joel Hansen. I've seen just a little bit on him on YouTube. I've seen that he did really good against Ty Sakal, and so I was definitely looking forward to that match. I was definitely surprised, especially the first round. He got right where he wanted. I was very taken back and surprised. So the next few matches afterwards, there was no screwing around on my part. I could not let him get what he wanted again. So yeah, that was a very tough dude. Yeah, Joel's a very strong guy.
Do you get a chance to train with someone that hits like Joel does, that inside drive? Do you train with anyone that, like, you seem like you were really ready for that move, and that's a move that usually catches people off guard?
Yeah, to be honest, no. A lot of the fast guys out there are top rollers. For someone to hit sideways really quick, you don't see it too often. I mean, he is one of the guys, and also Ty Sakal. Haven't got to pull either of them too much. So yeah, it's an interesting style. It's an awesome style too, but it's tricky to deal with. Very tricky.
Very tricky, but you came out on top, man. Congratulations. You're
Thank
a champion. Then you went on later to pull one of the Hooten boys in a super match on the left arm.
Yes, left hand against Dustin Houghton. I knew coming into that I was definitely the underdog. I know he was a little bit older than me. He's been pulling a bit longer. And I mean, he's a Houghton, so big deal. One of the top guys in Canada too. I don't know exactly where he's ranked, but I know he's a huge deal in Canada. So yeah, even just the opportunity to pull with a guy like Dustin, very, very big opportunity for me. And it was an awesome match. Dustin's a tough guy, very tough.
No, I watched the whole event, and that match stood out the most to me by far. That match, that left-hand match, because I mean, you kind of got stomped for round one. Again with the round one thing. I don't know what's up with that.
Yeah, I having trouble getting in the zone, I guess.
You had to feel it out. So you got beat the first round, and then what did you do psychologically, physically to prepare for round 2?
Yeah, first round had me very surprised. I knew he was an awesome top roller. I knew at least a little bit what I was getting into. He was faster than I thought he would be as well. So yeah, it was definitely tough. I started to lose a little bit of confidence, but I had Matt Mask kind of reminded me what I had to do to get myself in there. Reminded that I had to really commit with my shoulder, have to really test my frame, bring it inside. Once I started to force the match inside, I really started to stop the match. And then once I did stop the match, my confidence was really coming back, and I knew I could beat that guy. So it was a close match.
Yeah, and then so you took the round 2 very nicely. And then round 3, he ended up getting you again. What happened there?
Yeah, so I think you can just really tell his experience, I think on a technical level, I do think on a technical level, Dustin is still kind of superior. So he was doing everything right in the setup. He was fighting a lot in the setup, taking a lot. I mean, I was not comfortable for 1 second when I was pulling him. So he did an awesome job. He just knew exactly what to do, and I made a couple mistakes. So I think eventually I started to get the feel for him. Once I know what to do with certain people, I'll start to commit more. I think that's what it came down to, just get a little bit more comfortable with him and kind of figuring him out.
And is that what happened in the following 2 rounds? Because you ended up winning the next 2 rounds in a row.
Yeah, for sure. That's what happened. I had to. I was getting a little nervous, but once I figured out what I had to do, where I had to go, it was a lot easier from there. Not that it was easy, but I knew what I had to do from there, and I did it. So
Congratulations, man. But then
thank you.
you still weren't happy. Guys still had to go and enter the open classes.
Yeah, I was a little bit beat up after, but I was still, I was in all right shape still. So I mean, it was a long drive there too. I may as well compete in the tournament, see what I do. And yeah, I did okay. Not as good as I wanted to in the tournament, but I really went down there for the super matches, and I won both of them. So I got what I really wanted when I went there.
Awesome, even better. But you did still pull off a 4th and a 2nd. And then
Yep.
2nd with your left arm. So is left your dominant arm? Is that what's going on here, or do you just have a better day left?
I am definitely still a righty. I think I think my left is just healthier right now. So my right just was feeling really beat up by then. I had a couple hard matches on the right. I had some very tough left ones too, but my left was just feeling healthier, feeling fresher. My right was just taking a little too much damage, so right wasn't exactly what I wanted it to be that day.
Nice. Left came through, though.
Yep.
That's money.
Yeah, the left one is feeling real healthy, so
That's awesome. That is awesome. So, yeah, Riley. Riley's got a bunch of questions. He's way more organized than I am, clearly. Riley, let's hit him with some questions. Let's find out where you came from here.
I don't know about that organized thing, but I mean, it's good to hear that your left is a little more healthy, right? You're going to need that one here coming up in a few months. But
yep.
Turning back the clock a little bit first, like we see this current version of Caleb, who's just a beast, right? He's taken out some really big names. He's really shot through the rankings lately. But just turning back the clock, kind of, how did you get first kind of started in arm wrestling? Like, where was your first practice? How did it come to you? All that stuff.
Yeah, so a few years ago, I found arm wrestling through YouTube. YouTube has done a lot for the sport. Got to be really thankful for that. So I was watching WAL matches. I was watching one of Matt's matches, and I heard the announcer said, "Out of Red Deer, Alberta, Matt Mask," and I'm like, I live in Red Deer, so yeah. Eventually, I kind of started to try. Started looking for him. I eventually found where he practices at. Not too long after, I went to his practice, and I've been pretty much going ever since then. So,
oh, right on. Because, like, my next question was going to be, at what point did you just go from, I just want to try this out, to I want to become the legitimate killing machine that I am today? But I mean, that question, I mean, you're training with Matt Mass. That environment just must motivate you alone, right? It should have just from day one.
yeah, I've always loved arm wrestling. I've been doing it, I mean, just for fun since I was a little kid. But yeah, I think I fell in love with it pretty much as soon as I started. Since I was watching it before I started as well, I knew at least a little bit what to do, and I knew how to do an okay top roll. So I got into it. I was all right at it beginning, and I just fell in love with it. I kept training for it, started getting better and better and bigger. So, and here I am today.
What's it like having Matt Mask as kind of your mentor? And what's that like training with Red Deer?
It's awesome. The Red Deer group is really strong. I mean, Matt Mask, you learn a lot from Matt. I mean, I started off as mostly a top roller, but trying to arm wrestle against Matt, it's not wise to top roll Matt. So that's forced me to become more versatile overall. So not only was I getting stronger outside, I was building up more inside games. So yeah, training against guys like Matt is a huge deal, and have someone so smart and someone who's so strong to train with, it helps a lot, big time.
So how big is the club? How big was the club when you started? And is it the same or bigger, smaller now?
Yeah, so I mean, it's definitely grown a lot. It never was. Since I've been going, I would never call it a small club, but it's gotten much bigger. A lot more people going there now. So, and I mean, a lot more consistent people too. So, it's an awesome club to train with. It's awesome seeing because I'm trying to progress all the time too. And then I'll like arm wrestle my friends there, and I'm realizing they're progressing just as fast as I am. So it's awesome.
That is pretty impressive, man. You know, like we try to grow the club here in Saskatoon, and I mean we have anywhere from 6, 8, 9 guys show up, and that's what we've built up to.
Yeah.
But you guys are a lot larger, right? You're at least double those numbers, I think, right? Like I've seen some practice pictures, and it looked pretty full.
Yeah. Just it depends on the day too. I mean, sometimes we will only have around maybe 9, but sometimes we'll have twice as many. When Devin came down, there's probably 40 people in that garage. So
How is
yeah.
the new training facility compared to the old one? Because Matt built a new garage and everything, right? He moved.
Yeah. To be honest, he's always had awesome setups. I mean, I guess he has to when he's at that level and hosting practices, but he's always had awesome places to train at, and his most recent one is really nice as well. It's on the other side of town from me now, but that's fine. It's still only 10, 15 minutes.
Oh, that's not bad.
Can't complain. But yeah, it's a nice place, and yeah, it's a nice place. I think we've got 4 tables set up there now, so it's not don't have to wait too long just to get on the table with someone.
No, I'd imagine not. No, and there's something a neat fact that I found extremely interesting is that you started arm wrestling around the same time as your old man.
Yep, pretty much the same time. He definitely he's always been a little bit stronger than me, especially back then. So he was, kicking my ass pretty good way back then. But I've started to get bigger now too, and strength is coming. So, but yeah, we started at the same time, and having someone as strong as him to train with and try and beat, something to aim for. It was obviously a huge challenge, but it's helped me progress very fast as well.
That's cool.
Your dad is not your typical guy you see walking down the street. I've pulled with him a couple times, and it's very difficult to get anything you want. Like he's just so strong.
Very strong dude. And I mean, it comes. He just naturally has an awesome frame for this sport. I mean, he still hasn't refined just too much of this technique either. He still has more top end power than me right now, but I think I've refined my technique a little bit, so where I can figure out a way to beat him or whatever. But if he refines his technique more, he's going to be a seriously bad news for some people. So yeah, he's a scary dude, and his frame is ridiculous. I mean, he has a wrist that is the same size as Dennis Saplinkov's. So
that's right.
He's got the frame for it. There's no doubt about that.
And do you guys get to train together? Do you get to train with your dad?
Yeah, so I mean, we grip up every now and then at practice at Matt's house. We do have a table at home in our basement. It's mostly we do have a cable pulley set up to our table right now, so we will more so using the pulley system. But every now and then, when we don't make it to a practice, we will grip up probably a handful of times a month, and it's never easy pulling that guy. So it's always a good time.
And what kind of pulley setup are you running? I know there's a lot of options out there. I've seen everything from the Israel ones to ones from overseas. Like, what are you running?
Yeah, I hear the Israel ones are great, but I actually just had my buddy, another very strong dude from Red Deer, my buddy Hugh Nutbrown. He actually welded it together for me. Wasn't too much money either, so he built that up for me, and it works amazing. It's had zero problems with it so far.
So would he ever build those to sell? Like, could anyone buy one? Can I buy one? Like, how does that work?
Good question. I think I know he's made a few of them for a few different people, so I think I don't know if he wants to go crazy into a huge business with it, but I think he definitely could. And I don't know, if you want one, I absolutely recommend him too. So look up Hugh Nutbrown on Facebook. He makes some awesome stuff.
All right, tell him Caleb sent you. Okay,
Yep.
sounds good. All right, Riley, what else you got?
I guess kind of building off your dad there. So would that be kind of your first motivation in the whole area of strength sports, or was there any other motivations early on?
Yeah, that's a good question. So yeah, my old man, he's always been kind of the freakiest dude around. I mean, the strongest guy, the guy to just kind of my personal Mount Everest, So yeah, he's been a huge inspiration just for a guy to train with. I mean, started off, I could do nothing with him, right? So having something, a goal like that to beat has really helped me kind of progress really quickly and really well. I gained a, I've been gaining a lot as far as power and technique, and that's because I was trying to beat him. So yeah, it definitely helped me a lot.
Nice. Well, here's a big question about, you and arm wrestling and everything. Why arm wrestling? Why? Why is that what you
Good
do? Why
question.
is arm wrestling your thing?
So I've always loved arm wrestling. I never, took it extremely seriously, but as a kid, I mean, I was always arm wrestling my friends, always arm wrestle everyone in my class. During recess, I would actually go out, try and find guys in the older grades and arm wrestle them. There's always a couple guys that give me a hard time, but yeah, I always loved arm wrestling. I was always really good at it. Um, when I was a younger teenager, I was actually involved in boxing. I
Oh,
was
sweet.
I was pretty involved. I was pretty good at that as well. Um, my first amateur fight only lasted 18 seconds, and I knocked him down really hard.
Oh,
And
jeez. Wow.
it felt really awesome to win, of course, but it was also my fighting style is it's not like Ali. It's more like George Foreman. I just hit people really hard, and it's a little scary too. I saw him get knocked down really hard, and it looked that guy was hurt. So brain damage is scary. I'd much rather break someone's arm than give someone brain damage or myself get brain damage. So I love boxing. I love combat sport, but arm wrestling is I get to use my strength. I get to use my combativeness. I get to just kind of let all that stuff out, only in a way where no one's gonna die from it. So can't
Yeah.
complain.
Good way to look at it, man. Good way to look at it. And then so
Yeah,
you take training pretty seriously, clearly. There's no way you're in the sport for like what, 3.5, 4 years, and you're at
yeah,
the level you are without, putting in your dues. So clearly you train hard, you must eat a lot, and you must be also focusing time on recovery, I'm guessing, too, in there.
yeah. So for the most part, I'm training 4 times a week usually. 2 of those days are a full body workout. 2 of those days are a arm wrestling specific workout, and then I'll have my actual arm wrestling practice sometime in the week as well. So gives me a little bit of time for recovery because I'm not working out every single day. Um, and then yeah, I'll have a volume workout for my full body workout and my arm wrestling workout. So I'll do lots of reps for high volume, lightweight. But then I'll also have my 2 workouts of heavy workouts. So I'll do heavy on the arm wrestling and heavy on the full body workouts as well. Kind of
Are you
getting the best
logging
of both
that?
worlds.
Are you tracking
Yeah,
your? Yeah.
tracking my lifts. I'm switching up my lifts a lot too. I train similar to Todd Hutchings as far as the West Side Conjugate method.
Nice.
It's really smart way of training. It's not always easy, but I am training my lifts. I'm trying to get stronger every week. Doesn't always happen, of course, but at least
No.
I'm doing my best, and I'm definitely seeing improvements at least every month. So.
That's impressive. And are you supplementing with anything? Creatine, protein powders? Are you taking anything?
Yeah, good question. So I did start creatine a few weeks ago. Probably 2 months now, 2 months ago. Um, don't think it did too much for me. I'm still eating a lot of meat, so I know technically most people are creatine deficient. But yeah, I don't think it did too much for me. I'll have protein shakes every now and then. I am a lifetime natty. I'm going to stay that way too. So not doing any PEDs, anything like that. Creatine didn't. I think creatine helped my recovery. I don't think it really helped with too much else as far as strength gains and on the table. I don't know if I'll keep, taking creatine, but we'll see.
Yeah, it's one of those things that takes a while to start working, and then you really have to be crazy consistent on it, and you really have to throw your water intake like through the roof.
Yeah, and
For it, but it
yeah,
does take a while, and really that's this whole goal is to improve your recovery. So if you did notice any of that, then it was really doing its job, and then
yeah,
all the protein would be getting your muscle building, right?
absolutely. And I think it did help with my recovery. I just started a second job, doing construction, so I can barely eat enough food lately, drinking enough water. So I think creatine was kind of giving me that little extra boost of recovery, just doing so much else to my body.
That's awesome. Now, when you're doing your arm wrestling practices, do you have like a structured way to practice? Like, are you going into every practice with a plan, or are you just going in and kind of play it by feel? Like, how are you treating arm wrestling practices?
That's a good question. For the most part, I'm just going in there and I'll try and get some really good work in. I'll let people go. I'll let people bring me to bad positions. I'll try and bring it back. If it's a guy that is really close to my level, it'll be almost like just a regular super match. We'll both be trying really hard. If it's a guy that's weaker than me, let the weaker guy work. Let the stronger guy hold. That's kind of like the little rule we have for the Red Deer Club. But yeah, for my most recent match, I was mostly training my hook, so I was not doing much for top roll stuff. I was training with Matt a lot too. Well, trying my best to train with Matt as much as I could, because trying to just contain a crazy hand, crazy top roller, and just try and force a hook and force it inside. For the most part, I started the sport off doing a lot of outside movements, top roll, but for my Dustin match, I knew I had to force the hook and make it about inside movement and side pressure. So started training my side pressure more and started just going into the hook more. So yeah, as of recently, I have been trying to be a little more hook dominant.
Nice. Yeah. Well, I mean, and clearly your hard work paid off. So way to plan that one out.
Yeah, thank you.
Very impressive, man. No joke.
Speaking
Riley,
of hard
what you
work,
got?
kind of just going off on a tangent here about you mentioned a second job. So like just outside of arm wrestling, like who is Caleb Freeborn? Like what all else do you do?
Yeah, so I am a busy guy. So I have the two jobs. I've worked about 8 months at a knife store, House of Knives in Bower Mall. So I'm a knife salesman. And then on other days, I'm also in construction doing drywall. So, and that's hard on the body. So I'm very busy, staying busy with work. I'm also in a band. So that also keeps me busy as well. Trying to have a social life on top of all that other stuff.
Wow.
I'm extremely busy. So yeah, I'm having to put some stuff on hold, especially for, I put a lot of stuff on hold for my matches recently. So
I don't see a problem.
yeah, it's good to be
It's
busy.
working
I
for you,
mean,
right?
yeah, life is not boring for me.
That's right. That's right. And what's next? What's next for Caleb Freeborn? So we know the past, right? We know the present, which is you dominating in Lethbridge. What is next?
Yeah, so not much time to rest after Lethbridge. So in a couple weeks ago, I got a message from my good buddy Nelson Torque, just out of the blue. Hey, do you want a left-hand match with Chance Shaw? So I talked to a couple buddies. I didn't even know if I was worthy of the match, but everyone said I need to take this match, and of course I did. So beating Dustin was a nice little confidence boost, saying, "Hey, I might have at least a small chance against Chance." So yeah, I did take that match. That's probably 3.5 months away now. So I don't think I'm there yet, but I do have a lot of time to keep training, keep getting stronger. Again, I'm taking no time to rest from Lethbridge. Got back on the training table, and I am still getting stronger and stronger.
Beauty. Beauty. So you mentioned you changed your training strategy a bit in preparation for Lethbridge. You said you train more hook. Are you making any changes, any adjustments to prepare for this Chance Shaw match?
Yeah, so I'm gonna try and pull Chance similar to how I did Dustin. I know Chance is an amazing top roller. I know his left hand isn't as good as his right hand, but I hear his left hand is more versatile as well. So I hear he can hook, he can popper with his left. I am planning to force a hook with him, keep training my side pressure. It wasn't until recently where I actually have been training side pressure. And it does suck. It's very painful. It's very hard on the elbows, very hard on the tendons, but it does work. So I'm continuing that kind of Todd Hutchings style of training, and it does work. So hopefully I'll keep leveling up until then, and I think I'll stand a good chance against Chance.
Nice. Well, you definitely will stand a chance if you get to the point where, like Todd Hutchings, where he's climbing a rope with the hands behind the neck. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. I
I
think
might
that's
be too
next.
heavy for that.
Yeah, yeah, me too. I saw him do that. I had to rewind, play. That shouldn't be
That's some
right.
freaky stuff.
That's some
Yeah,
freaky
Todd is a
stuff.
freaky
Yeah.
dude.
There's a reason why he has a hammer collection, right? Yeah.
This is true. This is true. There's only one Todd Hutchings.
There's only one. Yeah. Well, the beast, and he came into the sport late, right? He was damn near 40 when he found arm wrestling.
Yep. And I mean, he got into the sport very late, and I think he's in his 50s now, right? I mean,
Yeah, I can't remember how old he was when he got in. Maybe he was mid-30s or something. But he was later. It was later when he found it. And yeah, he's not super old now. So he must be
no,
in
and
his
he's
late 50s.
yeah, and he's still one of the baddest dudes out there, right? And that is
Oh yeah.
because he trains hard, he trains smart, and consistently as well. And he knows what he's doing. He's just Todd. I mean, by trade, I think he's a mechanic of some sorts. He knows his physics, and he knows we have a similar training method as well, doing West Side. So
Yeah.
he definitely knows what he's doing, and he's a very strong guy.
He's a very strong guy in all areas. Yeah, I remember watching him against Jerry Cataret on the big event there, and in that wall event, and it was just like to see, up on stage he looked half the size, and then you saw him
Yeah,
just peeling that hand back, and it's like bravo,
yeah.
bravo.
That's a freaky dude. I mean, very freaky, and just the way he trains, and yeah, he's a bad dude. And how he pulled Matt, how he did against Devin, very impressive. Very impressive.
Well, that's the thing. I don't know how. Just I can't fathom how you can beat Matt with your arm like this. It just doesn't make sense.
I know I hate being in that position. I can't do anything with my wrist bent back. I need
No,
to have at least a little bit, right? So yeah, that goes to show you. And with Matt's speed, I think Todd even said, I mean, if I were to build the perfect guy to beat me, it would look like Matt Mask, right? Because his hand
Yeah.
dominance, his speed, basically the perfect style to go against Todd. And yet Todd scraped out the win against Matt. So very
that,
impressive.
yeah, that was another huge event. Oh, didn't I would have lost money if I'd have bet money on that one.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
See Matt losing that. So here's an interesting question for you. So so our practice is always at Matt's in Red Deer.
So for the most part, yes, but there are also other practices at my buddy Stu's. So
Oh,
Stu has a lot of land just outside of Red Deer, just like starting to get into the country. And he's got a little barn there that we practice in as well. So Sunday practices are in the afternoon. Sunday practices are usually at 2, where Matt's practices are usually at 7. So
later on. And then how do you pick which one? How do you
this depends on my schedule, I guess. I mean, sometimes I'll be busy Sunday. I might be able to make it to math practice. Some days I'll miss math practice, and then I'll be able to make it to Stu's, which really works out nice. Sometimes I'll feel okay enough to go to 2 practices in a week. Usually I regret it because I'm always going too hard at practice and I'm getting really beat up. I think 1 is kind of the perfect amount for table time for me, but especially with working out as much
Yeah.
as I do. So, but yeah, it is really nice having the 2 different options. If I do miss one practice, I might be able to make the other.
Yeah, that is a really nice option. 'Cause I was gonna ask, what do you do when Matt's gone? Because he works on the rigs, right? So I was curious what you do
Yeah,
when he's gone. Because like in Saskatoon, I run the practices. It's all run out of my place. We have several tables here, and it was for a while that if I wasn't around, there just was no practice. So it was
yeah,
nice to have
and
options.
yeah, and thankfully, I mean, there's a lot of very strong dudes in our club. I mean, some guys are coming down from Calgary, like consistently too. So some guys are traveling to far ways just to make it to practices, and it's awesome because there's a lot of strong guys here. And Matt might not be there one day. It's still nice to have extremely strong competition there and awesome guys to train with. So a
That
lot of
is
different styles too, right? So
yeah.
I'll have guys that are amazing top rollers, amazing hookers, all of that. So it's nice to have that versatility for training partners.
Yeah, yeah, I can imagine. That's really good. Now, I gotta ask. So they good. I don't know if you noticed or not, but they made some big announcements about Canadian nationals this year. They're gonna have like a refreshment zone. They're gonna have like fresh fruit and stuff for all the competitors. It's all free.
Yeah, that's
Um,
awesome.
they're doing something else to streamline. Because like the sign-in process for nationals is kind of a painful process, so they're going to run
Yeah.
separate scales. They're going to run a scale for the women's and youth classes, and then a scale for all the men's classes.
Yeah.
So that's big. And then they released a new logo and stuff for the event.
Yeah,
So
it
that's
looks
pretty
good.
cool. They got a lot going on. And I mean, I know I'm sure lots of people are wondering, is Caleb Freeborn going to be at the 2022 Nationals?
I would really love to. I don't think I will make it this year. I will absolutely do my best to make it next year, just because it's close to my match with Chance Shaw. So a nationals tournament would be a huge deal for me, and it's something I would risk even injury for. But I think I'm going to have to say no to nationals this time and just focus on my match against Chance Shaw. All my focus is really going into Chance right now. So even right after Lethbridge, took a couple days off and got right back into training. So I don't think I'll make it to nationals this time. Hopefully next year will be a little bit closer to me too, and I'll have a better excuse to go, and I'll see what I can do against the best Canadians.
Yeah, man. Well, I for one am extremely curious, and not just because we're in the same weight class. I'm extremely curious to see it. Well, what about provincials? Are you gonna make your provincials for Alberta? Because shouldn't that be right away? When is your provincial? I have it somewhere.
That is also coming up soon too. I'm not entirely sure when. Again, I don't think I'll make it just because everything is about Chance Shaw right now. So
Okay.
going to be building and building up until then. I don't think I'm at the level right now to where I can beat Chance. So everything is just going to be training for me. Although it would be awesome, I think I just have to take taking this Chance match really seriously. So everything is going to be about him and training for him.
Nice. You're a smart guy, Caleb. It's really nice to be able to ask you some questions. You're well thought out answers, and yeah, man, it's really good. I've heard about you. I've just never got a chance to talk to you, so it's been really nice to have you on our show, man. Thanks for accepting the interview, man. It's nice
Of
to
course.
share you with everybody else.
Yeah, it was an awesome time, and I really appreciate it too. I'm very thankful. Pretty soon here, I'll be making my own YouTube channel too. So looking forward to that.
Yeah, well, let us know when you do, and maybe we'll have a big launch thing. We'll get you back on, even if we're just talking about whatever. We can get the three of us on, and we'll talk about your new channel and talk about your match with Chance Shaw on that. And
that will be awesome.
Keep sharing, man. That's the whole point of this one. I know there's a lot of arm wrestling YouTube channels, but I think this will be a good place to bring more of the Canadian pullers together. You know what I mean?
I agree, and I know your channel's really new too, and I'm really it's going amazing. I'm really happy for you.
Thanks a lot, man. Well, we care. Just like arm wrestling, right? Consistency. You got to give a damn, right? Like all these things. Yeah, and when you build your channel, you let us know. We'll advertise it for you, and if you need any help, I'm sure Riley or I'll more than happily help you with whatever questions you might have, buddy.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
I mean it. Sure do. This
awesome.
has been really nice. Riley, do you have anything else to bug our interviewee about?
I'm super excited for this Chance match, and just hearing you talk today makes me even more excited about it, because I can see how tunnel vision you are about it. You're like Devin for Levon right now. Like you're just intense. Like I don't care about anything else. And another thing, you're training like Todd Hutchins. It's probably the smartest thing you can do, because that dude's also pulling Chance soon.
Exactly.
So he's pulling him to win, and then you adopting that same training style might just get the job done for you.
I'm hoping so. And yeah, thank you. I'm taking this match very seriously. It's a big opportunity for me. I mean, the opportunity to pull Chance is huge. Even if I do lose, I mean, that's getting my name out there. I mean, there's at least some people out there that think I can hang with him. So yeah, it's a big opportunity, and I'm very thankful.
Well, that's the thing down in the States. Like even if you lose, but you make it a match anywhere, right? Or even if it's just a grinder, like a 3-2 win. I don't know if it's best of 6, if it's 6 round, best of 3, what it is, but you'll be known down in the States, right? Like, who's this guy Chance is pulling? Oh my God, he gave him a good match. And all of a sudden, boom, overnight you're up there.
Yep,
right?
getting my name out there. I'm very excited.
Yeah.
We're excited. We're excited for you, Caleb.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Right on, man. I don't know. You got anything for us, buddy? You got any questions? Anything we can help you with?
Well, I definitely I think before my chance match, I'll get a YouTube going up pretty soon. I'd love to be on here again with you guys. It's been really fun, and I would really like to do it again. So when maybe in a couple months when I'm closer to that chance match, we'll have another chat.
Yeah, well, I'm sure our viewers, subscribers are going to want to know, like, how ready you are, right? So, yeah,
I'm
man, we'll
getting
have
there.
you on again for sure. Zero question.
Awesome.
It's been I mean, at least my pleasure to have you on, man.
It's been a pleasure. I really appreciate it.
Beauty. That's it, buddy. We'll let you go. We'll cut it here, and let the people know, who this Caleb Freeborn guy really is. And if you ask
Coming
me,
for you, Chance.
if you ask me, man, super cool dude. Guy's driven. He's way ahead of where he should be at 3.5, 4 years in. Yeah, you got a lot to look forward to, Caleb.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, buddy. Well, until then, I think we should all flex it off, probably,
Yeah.
and then just let it go from there.
I'll go first. I'm the smallest, eh?
See, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, I didn't get her in there.
And make that screen a little bigger there, Caleb.
Awesome, guys.
Right next to the camera.
Go like 6 feet. Go like 6
See if I
feet
can get
back
that
and then
zoom
get the
lens
whole
on.
arm in there.
Right on. Take care, guys.
All right. Cheers, guys. Thanks for having me.